Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I guess it is afternoon right now. Welcome to the session on dollars for declines and capitalizing on critical care. This is one of the most exciting sessions that I'm given right now because with the new critical care product out there, I'll tell you what, it gives us just a tremendous new opening if you're a long-term care insurance agent out there. Everybody that attends today's session will receive at least 100 GoldenCare reward points. One of you will receive 500 points. I hope that if you haven't checked out our GoldenCare Rewards program, that you do check it out at goldencarerewards.com. I think you'll be mildly surprised at it. You know, we're talking about critical care today, and I just want to give a brief overview for anybody that hasn't gone through the basic training on it. The bottom line is that we designed this product to be a solution for long-term care insurance agents' problems out there. As underwriting is tightened up, we see more declines, more examples of uninsurable people, and there's nothing worse than going out there and going through all the work of presenting the product and creating the need in the client's mind, creating the urgency in the client's mind, getting them to submit an app, and then having to go back and tell them that the company declined them and you couldn't help them. Well, I'll tell you what, critical care designed by long-term care agents for long-term care agents is there to solve your problems. You know what? We will take clients that long-term care insurance won't take. There's no APS. There's no height and weight charts. There's no cognitive. There's no phone interview. You know, right now we're accepting 96.8% of long-term care insurance declines, and we're issuing those policies within 3 days. Bottom line, it's a great policy. It picks up all the major risks. It's got an easier trigger than a long-term care insurance policy, so it ends up paying actually more claims than a long-term care policy will pay. And once the client qualifies for the benefit period, he gets paid regardless of what happens. If they recover, we still keep paying them. If they die, we still keep paying them. The bottom line, it's a great thing because it handles all of the problems out there. It's got built-in restoration of benefits. We can go lifetime maximum up to $432,000, and it pays increased benefits for assisted living and the nursing home. So first of all, we got a great product here. Now let's see today how we can take advantage of this product and take this and go out and make some money with it. You know, the thing about this product is the underwriting of it. Because we put this on a critical illness chassis, we're willing to take risks that a long-term care company won't take. Take a look at some of the cases we've taken here. You know, 80-year-old that's in a wheelchair, okay? Diabetic with too high of limits out there. Person that's on narcotics, person that's had 2 knee replacements, all of those acceptable situations for critical care. When a long-term care agent takes our product and goes out and tries it, they find it's pretty easy to sell. Take a look, these are some actual success stories we've seen across the nation so far. This agent in his first 2 weeks out there, going out there and selling 2 declines from long-term care insurance. Take a look at that, $34,000 of premium. Every single application got issued. Terry actually is from Montana. You can see he works in older clientele. 10 sales out there, $24,000 premium, first week out of the gates. Sam is from Oklahoma. Okay, take a look at that, $44,000. Actually, that was a little over a week. Okay, but that's just going back out to his declines and saying, hey, I can give you an opportunity to get coverage here. And you know what? That means when you look at that situation, you got a whole bunch of money sitting there in your declines. You know, I don't care how old those declines are. You can go back there and take declines that are 5 years old, and they're just as excited to find out today that they can get a policy as they were back then. It doesn't even matter how you left them. You might have left them on a little bit of a negative point. Fact of the matter is, they've been waiting for you to call them back. When you call them back, they're going to love you. Think about the uninsurable spouses you've had out there, or households that you walked into and said, I can't insure either of you. You know, again, here, the older they are doesn't necessarily mean they're weaker. It may mean they're actually more interested right now because they're getting older and they still realize they haven't covered that risk. So what we have to do here is we got to figure out how we're going to do this. The first way, and most of you that are on the call today are here because you're going to be a part of our Buy Your Declines campaign. And in the Buy Your Declines campaign, we will actually sell the policies for you, and we'll go ahead and split commission with you. If you're going to be a part of this campaign, this form is going to be a very important form. You can't just call us and tell us the name of a person that's been declined. First of all, because you're committing an illegal act when you do that. That violates HIPAA. So in order for us to get permission to call your client, what we need this form filled out by your client and mailed back to us in a pre-addressed postage paid envelope. So you can use it yourself if you want to, but if you're going to use us for selling your declines, this form is going to be very important. So the first decision that you're going to make here as you go into this is, are you going to do this yourself, or are you going to allow us to market to your declines? Understand one thing, doesn't matter. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you cherry pick. I don't care if you say, you know what, I'll give you all the tough ones, GoldenCare. I'm going to take the easy ones. That's fine with me. I don't care how we do it as long as we do it. Let's get out there and let's offer those people coverage and give them the opportunity to buy. You know, you have to think about this with your decline clients. They're really valuable prospects to you because they trust you. They like you. They've already shown that. Why? Because they submitted an app with you. So when you couldn't help them, they were disappointed. You know what? They know the need. They know the urgency because they submitted that app. They're just waiting for you to come back out and help them. So I tell agents, I don't care who you got sitting back there and how old they are. You know what? Let's get them into this thing. First thing we need to do is get that list put together. Now, for your decline clients, that's going to be pretty easy. Go to the companies that you sold long-term care with and ask them for a list of your decline clients. Almost every company will be very happy to give you that list. Actually, ask for them in a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet. It's going to be a lot easier for us to work with. Tell them you'd like the name and the address and, if possible, the date and how much premium we were talking. Uninsurables, that's going to be a little bit tougher. If you've been using my suitability form and you got a whole stack of them, it's going to be real easy for you. Otherwise, you're going to have to go back and jog your memory. Take your old appointment books, just start looking back through them and try to think in your mind. Imagine each picture of the interview. And you know what? Make a list of those uninsurable prospects and the ones that you just simply couldn't do anything with. Remember one thing that we all learn from lead cards. Don't prejudge them. Don't try to read their mind. Don't sit here and go, well, that person probably wouldn't buy this. Okay? Just get them on the list. Once you got your list put together, then we can decide what we're going to do with it. We've got a packet that you can download on the internet. I'll show you where we get done. When you download that packet, it's going to give you a bunch of letters in there that you can use. One of the letters is a follow-up after a decline, okay? And now when we give you a letter, we're going to give you two different formats of it. First of all is a merge format. That's a letter that you can package together with your spreadsheet and it'll personalize every single letter that goes up. Now, if you don't know how to do that, see if you got a kid, a neighbor, a college kid that lives around that would help you, because that really increases your return. But if you're absolutely brain dead as far as computers go, you don't know how to do all that stuff, we got the simple format, which I told Tom to put together for you, because the simple one, just shove it in the copy machine and make 100 copies and mail it out, okay? If you want to increase your income here, realize one thing. Whether you do it yourself or we do it, we're going to see a closing ratio of about 50% guaranteed. You know, if you're good and you're doing it yourself, you might be way above that. But we're going to get a 50% closing ratio regardless of the quality of the lead that you got coming in off of this. If you pick up the phone and you call up a few of these people and you say, hey, I'm sending you out a form here. I would like you to fill it out and send it in to GoldenCare because I think you'll be happy you did. And increase that response. You know what? That's just more dollars in your pocket. Okay, here's an example of what the letter is going to look like. At the very top of the letter is going to be your instructions, okay? This is the letter that's going to be sent to past declines or uninsurables who have had no prompting about critical care. In other words, you never told them about it at the appointment, probably because you didn't know about it, okay? Then you look down in the third paragraph, it says, put it on your letterhead, then send it in your envelope, the letter, the critical care form, and a stamped return envelope addressed to you or to us, okay? So right off the bat, we're giving you the instructions of exactly how to use it. The letter itself is a nice, simple, easy letter. Hello, so-and-so, I got good news. There's finally a product that can help people like you that have had problems getting long-term care insurance. This is a huge relief for me because I know how concerned you've been about it. I can't give you a 100% guarantee that you're going to get approved, but I'll tell you what, fill out the attached form and send it in the enclosed envelope as soon as possible. Now you notice that this one here is that you're going to follow up. The second to last paragraph says, I'm all set with the organization that created this new coverage. As soon as I get your information, I'll contact you. So if you notice, it's a nice low-key letter. Not a lot of pushing, okay? We're just coming out there very low-key to the client saying, hey, we've got an alternative for you. Now, if GoldenCare is going to be the one that's going to be following up, notice that second to the last paragraph, it says, I'm all set up with the organization that created this new coverage. As soon as they process your information, a specialist will contact you. So what's going to happen there is we're going to get the lead in here, and my agents, who are internet agents, they'll contact them and sell them right over the phone. They'll promise you we're not going to touch any of your other business out there. We just want to get the critical care in force if we can. My agent will call up your client. They'll treat them very respectfully, and they'll try to get that application for us. So both letters, very nice and simple, okay? The PS down at the bottom of both of them says, of course, I'd never put you in a situation where you were obligated. Understand this is a no obligation deal. So again, trying to keep as low a key as possible. Now, if you want to generate a higher response, think about doing a couple things. First of all, think about putting a quote out there with about the same premium that you quoted in long-term care insurance with. You know, if you quoted long-term care insurance for a couple $1,000 a year, I'd throw a quote in there for about $1,800. You want to go a step farther? Include a lowball quote. In other words, a quote that shows them you can buy this coverage as cheap as $25 or $30 a month. By doing that, it's going to pick up that additional percentage of people and make a few more sales. You know, when I teach agents how to get into this market and make money in the market, especially when I'm teaching experienced agents, I try to tell them that the biggest, most important thing an agent's got to do is start working on the stuff that's going to give them the best return. When you're picking up that phone to make a call, don't make a call that only has the potential of earning you a couple bucks. Make the call that's got the potential of earning you a lot of money. So you know what? When you're looking at something like that and that concept, think about that really a lot when you're looking at this deal. Because this could be the highest dollar return call that you've ever made. All you got to do is send it out and then pick up the phone and make a call after they've got it, saying, did you get that letter I sent you yesterday? Yeah. Tell you what, this is really important. I know that it bothered me when you couldn't get long-term care insurance. I finally have a company here that's willing to help. So do me a favor, get that thing filled out, sent in as fast as you can. That little extra jog here is going to help, and it's going to increase that percentage out there. Now, do me a favor when we're doing this, because you know what? If you were out selling a client, would you ever finish up a sale by saying, here's the choices you got, folks. Now, here's the deal. If I were you, I wouldn't be in a rush to make this decision, you know. I'd put this aside, give it at least a week or two to think about it, you know. Or better yet, why don't you wait until after the holidays, you know. Holidays is always a tough time of year. Just wait until January and then pick this up, take a look at it, and call me and tell me what you want to do. You wouldn't think of doing that in a million years, would you? Why? Because you know what happens when you let a client stall. They don't buy it. If you don't get them to do it now, the chances are it's just going to get swept under the rug, and they're going to have to wait and make that decision at a future point. So the same thing applies to you when you're looking at this Buy Your Dollars campaign. I know you're busy. I know that it's always tough to find things like this, but do me a favor, do it now. I don't care how busy you are, do it now. If you're deciding you're going to do this, don't sit there 3 months from now and realize you blew by a lot of money or some other agent took advantage of this. and took away a lot of these clients that you had out there. Do it now and make sure that you get into the action here, okay? So don't procrastinate yourself. I know that it's tough to get used to a new product. I know that the comfort level isn't there. And the only way to overcome that is to go write some apps. So if you want to really be aggressive here, pick out one of your deep clients that you've had recently, call them on the phone today, set up a time, and go over there and give your first pitch. Okay, make a sale. When you find out how easy it is to sell this and how clients react to this, that's going to make you all of a sudden feel a lot better and a lot more comfortable as you're marketing this product. Going forward with new prospects is a lot easier than going after your old ones because, first of all, you don't have to do a lot of the work. First of all, use it when you're setting appointments. And setting appointments all of a sudden is going to get fun and a lot easier. You know, a lot of agents qualify on the phone when they're calling for long-term care insurance appointments. And one of the worst things they face out there is when all of a sudden they're on the phone to the client goes, well, we've already been declined for long-term care insurance. And you go, oh, you have, huh? Which company were you declined with? Genworth. Who? Now, you know, because in the back of your mind, you're going, okay, if Genworth turned down, that's going to be a tough policy to get through anybody out there. And all of a sudden, you're realizing I don't have a real good appointment here. Well, when you have critical care, you're going to love to hear those words. Because when you hear somebody say, I've been declined for long-term care, all I got to do is say, gee, I got a policy that I think will accept you. Would you be interested? And all of a sudden, from no appointment, I've got a hot appointment. Because if they've been declined for long-term care and they're sharing that with you, the bottom line is because it bothers them and they want coverage. Even somebody that says, I'm not sure I can get long-term care insurance. You know what they're looking for is somebody to say, I can help you. I can give you coverage. If you've ever worked direct mail lead cards, you know what I'm saying is true. How many times have I had an agent come back to me and said, you know what, Mark? I had the same card from the same person a year ago. And you know what? I had the same card a year before that. Well, we both know what's going on. One or both of the husband and wife are sick, and the bottom line, they need help. Any lead card that comes in, they're filling out and sending it back, thinking, maybe I'm going to find somebody that's going to help me. So you know what? Anybody that's sitting out there and they need that help, they're just waiting for somebody to say, I can give you coverage. So start setting your appointments using critical care, and you'd be surprised at how many extra appointments you set each week. When you go out there for the appointment, if you set it on a critical care, go right to that presentation. Otherwise, if you're going to do a normal long-term care sale, get ready to do the pivot to critical care as you're going along. Most of you, even though you've done some pre-qualifying over the phone, when you get to the client's house, you're going to do some pre-qualifying right there before you get going. I don't want to give a presentation to somebody that I'm going to find out 2 hours from now, all of a sudden that they're not insurable and I shouldn't have written an app on them in the first place. I want to find that out before I get the presentation. We use a suitability form. If you want to, you can order this directly from Supplies. But basically in our suitability form, before we give the presentation, we start out by finding out who they have their health or Medicare supplement with, and then we look at their health history. Our goal here is to figure out, number one, do I have a prospect for long-term care insurance? And number two, if I do, who am I going to put them with? So I'm going to find out right off the bat whether I got a prospect or not. If I find out I don't have a prospect for long-term care, but I do for critical care, I'm going to keep going. Why? Because in the existing insurance company coverage, I'm using the health insurance as a buffer to get to the next question. Who do you have your long-term care with? When they come back and say, well, we don't have long-term care, I'm going to say, gee, most of the time by the time people reach your age, they've already looked at it. Have you guys? No? How come? Or yes? Why didn't you buy it? I want to get their idea and their feelings about long-term care insurance. What are they thinking about it in their mind? Then I'm going to go into the LTC questions to set them up. What I'm doing in these questions is I'm lightly brushing over the 3 reasons people buy long-term care. And that is protection of assets, choice, and avoiding burdening the kids. I'm trying to figure out which one is theirs. Now, I have to tell you, I could make an entire sale off of these questions right here. I could go in there and create the need and go for the close. And if I have a person here that I know doesn't qualify for long-term care insurance, I'm going to use these questions to create the need for long-term care in their mind. And then I'm going to pivot right after this to critical care. If I have the long-term care presentation coming up, I want to know the answers to these questions because it's going to help me give my presentation. So right off the bat, I'm setting this up to say, if I want to, okay, I can pivot. If they don't qualify for long-term care insurance at all, okay, I'm just going to create the need in the pre-questions and pivot right to critical care. Or if I didn't get the need created enough, I might continue in the long-term care presentation for a few slides to get the basic ones out of the way. You know, what's your odds of needing care? Where can you get it? Who pays for the care? How much does it cost, etc. If one qualifies for long-term care but one doesn't, I'm going to continue with the long-term care insurance presentation. And then at the very end, I will set up the pivot and I'll write the healthy one long-term care insurance and pivot to critical care in the other. Okay. If I go out there and I'm writing long-term care insurance, and I got 2 clients here that look healthy enough for me to go with it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get all the way to the point where I'm ready to recommend the policy. And then I'm going to look across the table and I'm going to say, well, let me tell you something right up front. Long-term care insurance is hard to get. I already told you that once. And as I told you, I sell for all the carriers out there, the major ones anyway. And I've got a company in my briefcase here that I know will write you guys a policy. But I always think of my clients as kind of they're like me, and that is they want the best thing they can get. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to try you with United Omaha. That, in my mind, is the best policy in the industry today. But they're tough. They don't accept everybody. And there's a pretty good chance that they might come back and say, you know something, we're not going to accept one of you. Now, if they do, I don't want you to get mad at me. I already told you I'm trying you with the best company here. If that occurs, I'll come back out here. We'll take a look at another company, and I'll keep working with you until I get a policy placed for you. But if you get that letter saying you got turned down and you're going to get mad at me and you're not going to let me back in the door, then tell me right away, and I'll write you the weaker company that'll take you. You know what I'm doing here? I'm doing a classic takeaway, but I'm telling them right up front, there's a good chance they might get declined. Don't get mad at me. I don't want to get kicked out of this client's house and not get a chance to help them at all. So I'm just being upfront, and I'm telling them it's risky. You might get turned down. Let me back in when that happens, and I'll keep working with you. You know, if I do that, then it's real simple for me. If they get declined, I can turn right around and I can mail my letter back out here. And my letter now is going to say, we've already talked about this. Otherwise, it's going to go through the same thing. And it's going to set up the fact that someone from GoldenCare will give them a call and talk to them about this new product. If you're going to handle this yourself, you don't need this letter. You can pick up the phone and call and go back out to the house. And if you do have another premier company that's willing to take them, right, try them first. Otherwise, pivot to the critical care product. You know something? That's how simple it is to sell critical care. All of a sudden, you've got in your pocket a product here that will help people that you've been walking by in the past. And there's a lot of opportunities for you to go out and make money here. You want to really think about something. Realize that this product is so new out there that the chances are you're the first agent in your area that's even bringing critical care to the market, which means that every decline from any agent that markets long-term care insurance in your community all of a sudden became a prospect for you. You know, it's not often you get a chance to poach some other agents' clients and bring them into your wing, under your wing. Now is a great time to take advantage of that opportunity. Get the word out that you can help people who have been declined for long-term care insurance. Use your network. Use your current clients, okay? Because if they've been declined, many of these people want coverage, and they'll buy it from the first agent that offers it to them. So here's your chance to get some new clients under your wing. And anytime you get an opportunity to do that, you got to take advantage of that opportunity big. You want to double your income? Well, I won't promise you double your income. But from now on, every appointment you're in, ask one question when you get done. You know anybody that's been turned down for long-term care insurance? Think about this in your mind. If the person says yes to you, first of all, that means that the person got turned down must be pretty close to them. Otherwise, why would they have even shared the info? Secondly, it means that the person that shared the info must have been upset about the fact that they were declined. Otherwise, again, why would they have shared the info? So your person you're talking to might think they're doing a big favor to give that person's name so you can call them and help them. Matter of fact, what we've seen is a lot of times they'll pick up the phone and call the person, and talk to them about it right there. You know, a lot of agents struggle with asking for referrals. Here's a nice, easy way to ask for referrals. And it's better than a referral because normally you're going to have a real hot topic or prospect there. Take advantage of this and ask that question in every appointment. Even when I'm setting appointments, I'll be asking that question. If a client calls in, I'm going to ask them that question at the end of the conversation. I'm going to talk to my center of influences, my networking partners, anybody I can think of. I'm just going to ask, you know anybody that's been turned down for long-term care insurance? Because you know what? I like nice, warm prospects like that don't cost me any money, except one simple question out there. Another way to use this product when you're out selling long-term care is when you run into that client who continually throughout the interview throws the I'll self-insure or I'm just going to gamble at you. You know, either one of those two objections, if they throw it out more than a couple times, it means the client can't see themselves ever needing long-term care. So I'll stop right there and pivot and I'll say, you know, normally when a client says that to me, it means that they're sitting there in their mind going, I just can't see myself needing long-term care. Is that what you're thinking right now? When they go, yeah. Say, well, let me ask you a question. Could you see yourself having a heart attack? Well, yeah. How about cancer? Well, yeah. You know, a lot of clients who can't see themselves needing long-term care can see themselves having a heart attack or cancer. And I've got a product here that will fit you perfectly. And I'm going to pivot right to the critical care product right away. Because you know what? At least I'm going to give that client a policy that they want. Instead of sitting there trying to fight to overcome the I'll self-insure or I'll gamble and potentially ended up losing the sale. So when you think about that, there's a lot of applications for this product. And remember in the back of your mind, there's no alternative like this product to long-term care at all. There's nothing out there. My research shows it'll pay more claims than a long-term care insurance policy will pay. It picks up all of the major risks your client faces. Over 70% of the claims that long-term care insurance pays will be paid for with the critical care policy. It offers built-in restoration of benefits, and the underwriting allows clients who you can't get long-term care insurance to take. The underwriting will allow them to get coverage here. You know, I have agents now that are starting to come back to me and say, Mark, why wouldn't I sell this product instead of long-term care insurance? Now, I don't want to go down that direction. You know, we're the largest agency in the nation that sells long-term care. We believe in it, and I'm a firm believer if your client can qualify for long-term care, sell it to them. But I do have to tell you, arguing with those agents is getting tougher. As agents get more knowledgeable, they're starting to come out and say, you know what? When I got a policy that'll pay more claims than long-term care insurance, I got to think about this. The only point and reason I'm making this point in this presentation right now is that a lot of times agents kind of question, should I bring it to my client or not? And I want to tell you, you know what? How can you go wrong bringing this product to your client? Give them the opportunity of choosing whether they want to buy or not. In fact, I almost think that would be far better than an agent that simply said, I'm not going to bring it out there. If you don't offer it to your clients, are you committing more of an error there? Just something to think about, because I'll tell you what, all the research I've done on this product says this is the best product there is. as an alternative to long-term care insurance. I'm going to, at this point in time, throw it open for questions, but before I do, I want to thank each and every one of you very much for attending this webinar. I do appreciate it. You can get a PDF of today's slides by going to LTC Agent Sales Tools, a recording at the GoldenCare training site, and our upcoming webinars at GoldenCare Agent. At this point in time, I'm going to open it up for any questions.
All callers are muted. All callers are unmuted.
Any questions on anything I talked about here today or anything about critical care?
Is critical care available in Minnesota yet?
It's not available in Minnesota yet. Okay. We're hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, though.
Okay.
I know that's not what you like to hear.
Right.
Any other questions?
How many states is the product available in?
We got it approved now in 35 states. Okay.
Is there any predominant area of the country that's pretty much covered?
No, not really. You know, we're like North Dakota and South Dakota have got it approved already. Wisconsin does. Iowa's coming on. Missouri just got approved. New Jersey, out in the East Coast, about, you know, almost all of them are in there yet. Georgia's not. And I'm trying to think of who else isn't. But they're coming along about one a week now.
Okay. I have a follow-up question. That I've been writing long-term care insurance almost 100% on the phone and through the mail in 15 states for 10 years. And I'd be really interested in knowing what your take on doing this work over the phone.
Actually, that's all my agents have done so far. Sell it over the phone. I've got a group of internet agents. They have a e-app, you know. That's the simplest thing you ever saw. I mean, you handle signatures and everything, and you can fill that app out in about 10 to 15 minutes.
I use it all the time.
Yeah, it's just fabulous. And if you use their e-app, you're normally going to have a policy in your hands within 2 to 3 days.
And what kind of compensation are we looking at for street comp?
I'm not supposed to talk comp, but normally you're looking at about 56 or 7, I think. And it's level commission or level renewals for life, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
We expect the renewal base or the persistency to be equal to the long-term care insurance because we put in the.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yep. So
I found that and I include myself in this statement. Old people don't give their stuff away very often. Great persistency on this business.
Yeah, you know, you're right on that, isn't it? And that same thing.
How long is a typical underwriting for a case?
About 3 days.
Right.
Yeah, 3 days. If you use the e-app, it's about 24 hours.
Well, and just to follow up, what's the typical for a traditional long-term care case?
4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, actually 2 months isn't unheard of anymore. With Genworth going to their new underwriting rules, I bet you theirs are going to be pushed out to 8 to 10 weeks.
Are these guaranteed, renewable, guaranteed premium, level premiums?
They are guaranteed renewable. Okay, so in other words, that premiums can be changed if they change for the entire class. But we've worked with this company in our career shop for 10 years. We've never seen them take a rate increase. They come back and they told us, here's the deal. In critical illness, we're working with set numbers. Bottom line is the rate stability in this product is tremendous compared to long-term care insurance because we got more of a specific situation we're insuring against.
Right. I hate to dominate. I will just be quiet for a second if anybody else wants to ask a question, but I've got several.
No, go ahead.
I'll let somebody else have a chance just in case. No, go ahead. Okay. Now, you guys, are you all with the company, or you're an FMO, IMO, marketing organization, or so? How are you connected with GoldenCare or GTO?
Well, GoldenCare, we're the largest long-term care insurance agency in the nation. Okay, we've written about $700 million in premium, and we went to Critical Guarantee Trust because we knew they were a niche product company. And we worked with them to develop this product. And so we're now bringing the product out to the agents nationwide.
And so who are y'all? I'm sorry if I missed this earlier.
We're field marketing.
What is the agency or your organization's name?
Oh, GoldenCare USA.
Oh, okay.
Okay, in GoldenCare USA, we're the FMO on this product.
Okay.
And basically, just to warn everybody, when we do an FMO like this, if you call GTL, you might not find people that got a lot of knowledge on this product. Call us and we'll answer your questions, okay? We pretty much know the product as well as anybody does. And the product is pretty new, but our people are up to speed on it really well. Thank you for bringing that up, by the way.
Sure.
You get a straight direct contract with GTL, of course, and all your commissions are paid directly by GTL. As the FMO, we're kind of just, I don't know how to say, we're paid by GTL, not by you guys. Any other questions?
The 800-842-7799, is that your number?
That's to GoldenCare USA, right?
Okay. I'd like to speak to someone as soon as we're done with this.
Sure. If you, what state are you from?
God's country.
God's country.
Alabama.
Alabama. Well, I thought you were going to say Minnesota.
Well, I would have secondly.
If you're in Alabama, call in and ask for Jeff Clark.
Jeff Clark.
Yeah, Jeff is your regional director.
Okay.
And you'll like working with Jeff. He's a little fireball.
Okay.
He's not a little fireball. He's a big fireball.
My wife is kind of one of those. Well, we better not go there.
No. Any other questions?
Well, I have a comment. You've done a heck of a job. Great presentation.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I want to thank everybody for coming on. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come in. Thanks a lot, you guys. I hope you have a great end of the year and a great 2013. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
See you tomorrow, Mark.
We will. Thanks. Bye-bye.